Hello, welcome to Vlogtober 11. I'm reporting tonight from my blanket fort on my couch. And today I'm going to talk to you about nightmares. This is one of 3 story times I have planned for Vlogtober. Right now, the lighting that you see is happening from my K-Bear. Hi, K-Bear. Say hi. I was roped into this. K-Bear, be nice. The name is so creative because this bear I got in Korea. Okay, do your job. Provide some lighting, K-Bear. Oh, K-Bear changed colors. As anticipated, look who made it into the fort. Yes, Zulu, it is a fort. And it wasn't made for you. It was made for me. Imagine. Coming at number 3 is how to get away with murder. In this scenario, I've killed someone. I never actually see killing someone because I don't think I can actually imagine it. It'll probably disturb me too much to see it in my nightmare. So it's always afterwards. Could be an hour afterwards, but it's usually a day after, like the next morning or something. And I wake up feeling like justified at first because whatever the reason, someone has pushed me too far and I commit murder. But then after a little while, I'm like, you didn't have to, though. You didn't have to kill someone. So good luck explaining this and explaining it as self-defense or whatever else you think you can explain it as. And then it starts slowly setting in that the police are pretty good at catching murderers. Like even if it takes a while. So I have this feeling of, can I get away with this? How long can I get away with this? And even if I do feel like I'm going to get away with this, I imagine that I'm 70 years old somewhere and I'm going to be arrested for murder. So the whole feeling of the nightmare is my life being ruined. Like, oh, I do not have a life anymore. All those things that you enjoyed, you threw away because you couldn't control yourself or your temper. I really want to get away with murder in my nightmare. Coming in at number 2 is the slow motion fight. I feel like everyone's had this, or slow motion running. I'll do a slash because I will count these as the same thing. So the fight is actually rarer than the running, so I don't know why I put it in that order or said it that way. But something's popped off and I need to defend myself. And I'm not a fighter by any means. You may have seen I have boxing gloves. I was part of a gym for a very short amount of time in Florida where I actually used those gloves and trained on punching bags and with sparring partners. But I haven't done anything since I moved to New York. They are literally collecting dust. I'm not a fighter. So, but in my dream, I'm like, if something goes down, I know I can defend myself to a certain point. Like, at least make it a little tough. At least make it a little struggle. So I am like preparing myself, especially with the training that I have, to throw correct punches and get the most damage. But I can't because it's in slow motion. And I hear that's like a normal dream to have. So I want to know if you had it. But there's always that feeling attached to it of not only am I going to lose this fight, but I might die. I think that's probably the biggest part of the nightmare. And then the second half of that being the slow motion running, I actually find scarier because I'm usually running from something terrifying. And it could be a monster or it could be an animal, which we can't outrun anything. Side note, why were we made this way, God? Why can't we outrun anything? Everything is faster than us. It's crazy. Okay, that's my little side note. Bears can run 30 miles per hour. Just saying. And bears eat people if they are desperate enough. They don't care. They do not care. Other animals might eat us, but it's because they got confused They thought we were something else, but bears? No, bears are like, I'm hungry. I didn't get enough food today. I have an irrational fear of bears. I mean, that's not irrational, and that does happen. It's irrational because it doesn't happen that often. Especially if you look at the numbers of people compared to bears and bear attacks compared to bears actually eating people and killing people and things like that. Anyway, that's another. It all started. Might as well tell you the story now. It all started because I was camping a lot, and it was my first time camping with bears. Florida has bears, but I never camped with them. And I flew to the Rockies, the Colorado Rockies, to camp. And the bears happened to be hungry that year. And I say, I'm not making that up. They were hungry because there was just a shortage of, there's like a drought. And so there's just shortage of food. So they were going into the towns and finding food. That year, a couple months before the trip, I just happened to watch a horror movie about a bear attack, but I didn't know what it was. I would just put it on. And then the movie was based on a true story, and then it freaked me out. And I started doing all this research to kind of disprove the movie, but it only made it worse. So I ended up going there terrified. And I'm not, that's the opposite of my personality. Like, I'm not afraid. I think I'll be protected. I'm like, I'm fine. Everything's fine. So yeah, why do we run so slow? Detour over. So in the dream, and this was before camping in the Rockies, so it's not even like that's where it came from. But I'm always running from something. Usually is a person, though, that's trying to attack me or I know definitely wants to kill me, cause me serious bodily harm. And so I run, and I cannot run. I can't go anywhere. It's the whole slow motion. Oh, I'm in quicksand. Oh, I'm running in mud. Whatever the scenario is that makes you run really, really slow. And you focus really, really hard. And you're like, all I have to do is focus. Oh my God, why is this happening to me? Number one, are you ready for this? Okay, number one is less of a nightmare. Although, again, at the time, it's so scary. It's not scary at all. I have the most frequent recurring dream of not being able to continue my job or earning money because I didn't get a high school diploma. And I have 2 degrees. I have 2 degrees, but those degrees don't count because I'm missing a high school class or something. I have several classes. It's always a year of high school I have to take or a semester. And I don't know why I completely missed it or messed it up somehow. And not only do I have to go back to high school, I have to go back physically to high school with the teenagers in high school. It makes no sense. Sometimes it's college. Sometimes it's college. Obviously, if you haven't graduated high school or college yet, this won't mean anything to you. But sometimes it's college. And the point is, I have several classes that I'm kicking butt in. The dream always drops in at the week before finals or the week of finals. And I'm going to my finals. I have them planned in my head. Like, okay, Monday, I'm going to go to anthropology. And I'm going to kick butt in that final. I did well in that class all year. I studied for the final. And then there's always a class, and it's always science, because that was my worst subject, where I realized that I didn't go to the class, or at least I missed half the class. I missed some portion of class, if not all the class. And then I start wondering if I ever made it to the class. And for some reason, my memory is very hazy and I'm very confused. And that's a part of the nightmare, like me just not being able to think of it. Where is the class? I even think about where's my schedule? It's insane. It's like a big spiral. And so not only have I not gone to class, obviously I haven't studied for the class. And I'm like, oh my God, I failed. And there's always a feeling too of this is it. This is your only time you could do this. And now you're going to be homeless on the street because you cannot pay your bills. That's my biggest nightmare. It's terrifying. And when I wake up, I am terrified. I'm super worried. I'm like, oh my God, what am I going to do now? And then I have to I have to actually talk to myself. I'm like, no, that was a dream. That was a dream. You don't need to go back to school. Stop. So yeah, there you have it. I want to know what your recurring nightmares are. If you have any, or you used to have any. I had one that I used to have that I'm actually specifically deciding not to tell you because it's real life people go through and it's kind of sad. So that one's gone. Thank God it doesn't happen anymore. But tell me, what's your recurring nightmares? So comment with that, please. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you for Vlogtober 12. I think you'll like it.